If you can see behind me, you can see all that rain. That's probably the doom and gloom that you hear about the real estate market. So I'm here to correct you and let you know what's really going on. A lot of people assume that the market is going to crash. You know, we've heard a lot of those notations for years, or that there's going to be this massive bubble and so forth. And what has happened? The market has continued to maintain or stabilize and keep going. And even in winter months, so for years, I've always taken out buyers in that November, December, January, February period. I've always felt that was a great opportunity for buyers to get in. And even this winter, while most people were traveling or away or took some time off to get ready for another year, I can tell you December was busy for me. And every home that I went to see, there was either somebody that was booked for it, or any home that we decided to put an offer on, somebody else was putting an offer. So we were in multiples since December. And this is during even the holiday season I'm referring to. I was even hoping that we were going to close on a deal into Christmas Eve. And unfortunately, we're in multiples and somebody else got it. And so the reality of what we're seeing is, yes, generally speaking, you get a lot of the inventory that hasn't move over into January, but all of that has been taken up. So I can tell you there is actually buyers out there. And if there was the last home that we lost out in December, there was 4 of us. And out of 4 people, only 1 person got that home. So can you imagine there was 3 other buyers? And if I take all the other homes that we did put on offers looking for something, but we did find something, is what I should say with that particular buyer that I'm referring to. So where am I going with this? Is that the market is still moving. And I think people have gotten smarter to understand that the winter months are a great opportunity to find something that is suitable, and that there are still options and valuable options out there. And if we look at the reality of what happened in the market report, well, we know that there were 3,100 sales that were reported through the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board's MLS system. And I know that when we look at numbers, that doesn't seem like a whole lot. And generally speaking, the winter months are usually quieter anyway. And keep in mind, there's a couple factors that we need to keep in mind, right? Like, so for number one, we witnessed, first off, schools moving back a week, shifting back a week. So most people did not go back to work until a week later, which also changes like our vibration of what we're thinking about, what is the first priorities, you know, in terms of movement of our homes and where we're living. And of course, there's the thoughts of like walking into another year. Is it now? Is it later? And then the bigger question was interest rates. Well, what's going to happen with the interest rates? And of course, I think a lot of people, either if you already had a pre-approval, were acting and moving on that pre-approval before the interest rate announcement. And of course, when the interest rate announcement did happen, we also witnessed people say, okay, so now we have a little bit understanding of what's going on the big picture, because the Bank of Canada is saying that we might just pause here and we won't know officially until March, but most likely that they're not going to do another increase. And I think that's been one of the biggest factors, is contributing factors, is the constant increases. And when we have the unknown factor, we tend to pause versus act. And truly, like if we think about our dreams and our desires and all the things that we want, pausing doesn't get us to where we want to be. Right? We have to be willing to take a chance and understand what the risks are and what's involved. So I want you to think about that on a bigger picture as you're like planning your real estate, either investments, maybe you're thinking about getting into the marketplace, but those are little things to remind you. Like, don't let the outside forces of the economy be your driving factor. Like if you have the income and the qualifications to get into the marketplace, I will tell you, this is the best time to do it. And ultimately, those are the contributing factors to why the numbers are where the numbers are. And ultimately, we have to really look at what it is that we want and create the atmosphere of what we want versus what we don't want. And so keeping our energy fields is another important factor when we're thinking about whether, you know, do we move, maybe whether it be renting a new place, whether it be purchasing a new place, or even thinking about investments, because there's also opportunities coming up in 2023. One of those opportunities is the condo market. You know, with a lot more buildings that are going to be in completion this year, there is going to be an opportunity of inventory available. And so this is, I mean, some of them may turn into rental units, and we know that rent prices have gone up. And truthfully, I honestly believe that we'll see another increase to those. But what I can tell you though is there's a good opportunity to consider purchasing a condo. So if you're either looking to purchase a condo, to invest in a condo, or something to invest, I think condos are a really good opportunity this year and something definitely to watch. I will be sharing more tips and on that stuff in the coming weeks, but I just wanted to give you some heads up, some highlights, and of course, also a quick reminder, if you live in the city of Toronto, reminder that you must fill out that form. Whether you do not, whether you live in your home, you still have to complete that form. The city has extended their deadline. They need that form. So if you have not filled it out, and if you need help filling it out, call us, Property Princess Group, and we would be happy to assist you as well. That's it for me and the Property Princess Group on the market update. Stay tuned for more.